Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Today we're doing what's probably going to be a boring stream, but people keep begging for it. I'll explain more in a few minutes. I'm going to let people join into chat.
I just love dicks, bro.
Went to the gym this morning. Felt like shit, but I did my workout. Okay, sorry. I installed the new camera yesterday to see if that would fix it, and I thought it looks a little bit choppy, but I can't tell if that's just my replay, but you guys are so funny. Isn't every stream boring? Hardy har har. I need to make sure I leave Pro League stream open so I get my drops. I have not gotten any of the drops in the last like 3 days, so gotta do that. When the Skittles appear on stream. He said he wants to do something tomorrow. He basically sent me a match replay he wants me to watch or something. I don't know. So we'll do that tomorrow. But we were supposed to do it yesterday. He just didn't have time. It actually looks a lot better. I mean, the cameras are identical and they have the exact same settings, so it won't look any better, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't freeze. But it froze twice yesterday, so. Is that a Prime on my desk? This? No. This is an Alani. I don't drink Prime or any of those like garbage energy drink things. G Fuel, Gamer Subs, Red Bull, like all that stuff, Who needs it? I have a lot of space in my game room. Do I have any plans on what to do with it? Well, we've already kind of, here, I can show you that quickly while we wait. I've already kind of started to expand, and we are planning on one of these days, probably one of the days that I have off on Monday. I'm going to move a few more things up here, but here, I'll show you. So that's the other side of the room. We got a pool table right there. And then we're planning on adding some chairs in the back by like the table all the way back there so that when people are up here playing pool, other people can just sit and chill by the table. And then the plan is more to the left, we're going to put the air hockey table and the foosball table. And then I might put some chairs back here, but nothing planned to be like right here behind me. Where's the pool table? Right there. Little preview of my massive room. Did I wash that fan on high heat? It shrunk. What does that even mean? I thought the room was a lot smaller. So what's funny is what you guys see,
dicks, bro.
or what you saw on camera, is about 2/3 of the room. There's still a lot more. There's more over there, and then behind my camera and behind my monitors and stuff is the bathroom and steam room. So our office is a little big. Thanks for some fastest fuckboy and also V Draco with the 2 months. Thank you. We'll give it like another 2 minutes, and then we'll start. Okay. Where's the pool table? That person's blind. I think they've just never seen a pool table with a cover on. I have to get a cover though, because the cats will destroy it. What am I planning, like color pattern? What do you mean? The pool table is blue. I got it refelted to blue, and then we basically went to a furniture store on Monday just to look around, and I love this one chair. It's like a lounge chair, not similar or not exactly like this one, but a like slightly rocking lounge chair, and it was so nice that I want to get it, but they come in like tan, brown, and gray. So I'll probably get tan. Thanks for some Haas. God, get the Mooda files is crazy. All right, another minute, and we'll start. I'll explain everything, and then we'll get into it. I don't think we'll spend a crazy long time on this, but it is 3 full matches, so who knows. GG's if I see you're gonna get flamed by Mooda's community on Twitter during or after stream. I truly don't care. Already, based off the defenders, the average age of a Mooda fan is like 12, 10, so doesn't really affect me. And if they're not 12 or 10, then their behaviors, that is tough for anyone older than that. It's not even like, I don't even know. Just cringe. Also the Wednesday, or was I in a coma for Craig? What the fuck are you talking about? That's like the second message you said I don't understand. Also, I think tomorrow's the last day of esports, right? Actually,
I just love
oh shit,
Dex,
never mind.
bro.
It goes for a while.
Yo.
What the hell? Oh, April 26th. 11 more days. What's APAC? What about... Oh, that's just... Oh. Fuck. I have to go through each one individually? That's still not that long. Probably another 2 weeks. Thank you for the 8 months, Zinlix. Why hacker replay? It's Wednesday. Oh, bro, you gotta explain more what you're saying. You keep just saying very vague things, and I don't understand. But I'll explain more in a sec. I don't think I'll do this standing. I could, but I usually like hunch over when I stand, and I don't like that. I need to move my monitors up. I wonder what the drops for Salt Lake City Major will be since the qualifying matches were packs. I mean, I hope that they include packs for the drops because I think people were most excited about the drops for the events when it was like watch for say 15 hours, every 3 hours you get a pack, but then also at like the 2 hour mark you get a headgear, at the 4 hour mark you get a uniform. So like when they do kind of a mix of both, I think people really like it. But at the last event for SI, they did just bundles and no packs at all. So I'm like, I would like them to, you know, double up if possible. And also, I think for Munich, they did packs every day, whereas the bundles were over the course of like multiple days. So I'm pretty sure it was like 2 packs a day for the entire event. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest and say like, I have straight up asked Ubisoft if I can like get on a call with the people who are in charge of drops because I just want to be like, here's how to fix drops and make drops so much better. But unfortunately, so far I have come up short there. Haven't been able to actually talk to anyone. So I'm like, there's a lot of really easy ways to make drops really, really good and make people go crazy for them. I'm not mean to load up the match. But they just keep changing it. And I'm like, you had a good system before, and now you're just making it worse. You know? And I know people are going to go crazy thinking I'm saying something like what someone in chat just said. Give me black ice and every drop. No. I don't want them to be, you get really good stuff all the time. It's just more about how it's spread out and scheduling, and as well as like keeping people engaged. Because back in the day, they used to do, you'd get a full bundle over the course of 3 weeks. And then now for an event, you get one weapon skin for 2 hours of watch time, and the drops last 1 week. It's like, people just don't care. And it's so little. Like, bring back the bundles, make it over the course of multiple weeks. You could even do, like, headgear and uniform are week 1, and then gun skin and charm are week 2 or something like that. Like, easy. All right. I think we've waited long enough. We can get started if chat is ready. I mean, I say that. You guys are just, you're waiting anyways. All right. So, how do we want to start this? So, chat, you guys are aware, last week I tweeted out about Mooda saying that he was cheating because I saw a clip on Reddit. Then I replayed or rewatched the entire match, and I was like, probably not cheating. It was just probably a very lucky shot. And then since I've made that video, a lot of other content creators have also hopped on investigating Mooda. And then on top of that, his own teammates, his own like group that he's been playing with, has been sending in match replay files to different content creators accusing Mooda of cheating. So we're going to go over a few things before we watch them. These are 3 matches that I got Fett to send to me that someone else sent to him. So again, this was sent from his own team, from Mooda's teammates. They were like, I think he's still cheating. So they were sending it to content creators and be like, you should watch this and tell me what you think, blah, blah, blah. So a few things we'll talk about before we actually get into it, because every time anyone talks about Mooda, there's a million of his defenders who refuse to ever believe he could ever do anything wrong. And I go over some of the, I guess, most common defenses that a lot of his fanboys have been using. So, the very first one, which will make a bit more sense once we actually watch the matches, I think the biggest defense that a lot of his viewers have used is that he is intentionally trying to make it look like he's cheating to farm clips. So whenever he lines someone up through a wall, whenever he aims towards someone, they're like, he's doing that on purpose to trick people into thinking he's cheating. This is a very common thing that a lot of Siege creators do, but they have a lot of knowledge. They know, based off audio, based off map knowledge, blah, 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 where someone's going to be. And we do it a bunch of times where we like aim at the wall, like, oh, we're tracking, and then we kill them. And like maybe 1 in every 20 instances of doing that, you actually see someone and kill someone. We'll watch as the matches go on, but he does it way more frequently. Also, the reason why that argument kind of falls flat is because Mooda self-admits that he does not really know the game that well. He has very few hours in the game overall. So, in order to pull off consistently fake, cheating clips, you'd have to have fairly good knowledge of the game. If he even admits that he does not really know the game, and he also doesn't play the game that much, or never played the game that much before, how can he do that? Which leads into the second defense that a lot of people use. They say, Mooda's lying about how many hours he has in Siege. He actually has thousands of hours, which is just pure made up shit on their end, where they're like, yeah, this guy has secretly been playing Siege for years, mastering the game, spending thousands of hours on it to learn it, and then he's just pretending to be a noob. I'm like, that's just making shit up. Like, at that point, if you believe that, there's no argument to be had in any of this, because you're not going to believe anyone. If you can make up something like that and truly believe it, what's the point of even trying to talk about this? So we're just going to move past that point. And then the third thing I want to talk about, which doesn't necessarily pertain to him, but pertains to other content creators. The reason why I want to go over the matches myself is because I know other content creators have gone over the matches as well, and they have their own conclusions. I don't want to watch their conclusions because I don't want to have any bias from them. The reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of content creators are giving Mooda a lot of slack in general, because one, he's a creator, and two, because they want to collaborate with him. Because they want to, I don't want to say mooch, but they want, to get some of his viewers over to them. Same thing as like any other large content creator, they will want to do what they can to work with a larger creator because it benefits them. And the reason why I bring that up is because I feel like from some of the clips I have seen, if you showed any content creator these clips and that account and didn't tell them who it was, 99% of the time they would say this person is cheating 100%. I have seen a lot of the reports that some of these creators have made for cheaters with substantially less proof, and they believe someone is cheating. So I feel like a lot of them are willing to look the other way in hopes that they can benefit off of the viewership. Which is, again, why I don't want to look at anyone else's take on this, because I want to look at it as unbiased as possible. And I know people in chat and in the comments will probably say I am biased because they say I have a hard-on for like hating Mooda or whatever. I don't really care who it is. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree my known for role in the Siege community is the hacker replay guy. I'm the one who looks at matches, determines if someone's cheating or not, and that's about it. If someone comes into Siege and is suspicious, I'm going to look at it. I don't care who it is. I'm just going to look into it. So, with that being said, let's get into hacker replay, or the Mooda replay, or the Mooda files, whatever we want to call it. From my understanding, Oregon was the most suspicious match. All three of these matches were played in quick succession, and I believe these are all champ level lobbies. So again, remember that for the context of this, this was sent in by one of Mooda's own teammates who thinks he could be cheating, or like was suspicious of him, sending around to different creators. And then on top of all of that, he also is like, how do I phrase this? They find it weird because it is a champ level lobby, and Mooda has, I think at the time of this, he had like 70 hours. So playing in champ level lobbies and doing suspicious things with 70 hours, people have every right to be suspicious. I don't know why Oregon is split into two. I'm assuming that it was a disconnect, but we'll see. So for those who haven't been paying attention, where is he? Oh, is he Cool Hero?
I just love Dex, bro.
What
I
is
actually
up my
don't
second
know.
fav stream?
I assume it
Please
is
don't
because everyone else has their normal names. I'll just make sure. I'll check just to make sure. I could probably check the FET video, but actually, yeah, I'll just check FET's video. That'll be the easiest way to do. Yes, it is Cool Hero. That is his stream mode name. Also can't forget to leave the R6 broadcast on my browser. Looks like we're only going to see one kill here before they disconnect. And I assume it's Lou, who's the one who sent it into whoever. Also, okay, wait. I forgot to say one more thing before we start watching this. Because I know people have already been bringing it up a bunch. So, a lot of people were like, it's confirmed that Mooda's not cheating because yesterday he 1v1 Jinxie with a monitor cam. And first off, like what Fett said in his tweet, he said the 1v1s, they don't really mean anything. Anyone can look suspicious or not suspicious in a 1v1 because it's a 1v1. So he said how he plays in ranked tells a different story. And while I understand, having a monitor cam is good, if he doesn't do it in ranked, then it doesn't mean anything to me. So cool that he did it for the Jinxie 1v1, But unless, again, he's doing it in ranked, and if he plays exactly the same in ranked with a monitor cam, then he's fine. But if he suddenly is just shitting the bed in ranked when he puts on a monitor cam, you know. I also know that the whole thing was that he was going to do a PC check, and then he said he didn't want to do it. So I know that was a big concern for a lot of people. I'm assuming this is about to just end randomly here because he's about to disconnect. So we learned absolutely nothing in round 1. And we're just going to go to the second file. Also, with the whole PC check, I still find it crazy how they tried to plan it. Again, this is always assuming the worst, but when they were like, we're going to do a PC check tomorrow, that's like telling your work that you're going to do a drug test in a week. It's like, or what's the point of telling people? Kind of defeats the whole purpose, you know? You gotta do it in the moment. I also understand the concern with PC checks. They are privacy, or very intrusive privacy-wise, so I can understand to a degree. I can't remember what exact rounds it was that were super suspicious, but I think it was on defense that a lot of people reviewed and were like, yeah, that's pretty sus. Let me just rewind this real quick. This is something that I saw a lot of people point out, which I tried to, again, avoid videos to not have any bias, but that was just like, you know, how normal people will aim at an angle before they swing so that they can shoot as fast as possible, get a kill, blah, blah. But then after he does it and no one's there, this is something that a lot of people had mentioned multiple times where they're like, he did kind of aim at the people right before he peeks, but that was still kind of lined up with the actual reinforcement corner. I'm curious how he deals with the Clash, because Clash is notorious for being like a brand new player's worst nightmare. Oh, she's already dead, doesn't matter. Seemed fine. I'd just say weird peaks, because like from before when he's aiming, you know, right where someone's gonna be, and then there he's just like aiming at the middle of the wall and spraying. But if you're in a 1v4 and you're a newer player, you're gonna be overwhelmed and be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. For being a new player, he has way too much confidence. Well, that's also the thing, is a lot of people try to defend it by saying, well, he's new, but he plays a lot of Valorant and stuff. But it's like, we've had pros from other games come over to Siege, and most of them are terrified or unsure of what to do because it's just overwhelming. So have a creator come over, again, who's not a pro, and just know exactly where to go, blah, blah. People get suspicious because of that. He's already got pink ice? Okay. Forget the cheating accusations. This is rigged. Bro has pink ice? I wanted at least one pink ice, and instead I got red ice for the fucking M12 SMG. The worst SMG in the entire bundle. So, this was also, not this clip in particular, but this type of action he did was something that a lot of people kept bringing up, and again, his defenders would say, well, he's just pre-firing common angles. We'll have to go see if we can try to do the math of how many hours he has. But I feel like most people at, again, around 70 hours or less wouldn't necessarily know these angles right off the bat. That's also at 0.5 speed, so reacting that quickly, it could be just good reaction time, but these like common angles are only common because we all play the game a lot. And we know them. They're common because, you know, they're what we do. But again, a newer player would not know these common angles. They're just gonna like swing and be like, I don't know what to aim at, and then be lost. Did he just hip fire him as well? I'm gonna run this in slow-mo to see. I'm pretty sure he couldn't see Legion at all, but he hip fired him. So he can't see him at all. Still can't see him at all. How much time would that be? I'm gonna have to watch it 1 times. That's like enough time to react. That's alright. No, he dies. It's also so hard to tell how quick someone actually sees someone, because with the replay, the outlines are so much thicker than the actual person. So sometimes it looks like someone can see someone, but then they can't because it's just the outline. Could be wrong. I think this is the one that shared and everyone was posting about. Unless someone was in overtime, I can't remember. I also did see the funny, rare funny tweet from Kudos where he said, everyone's saying like, Mooda's cheating, Mooda's whatever. He's like, but no one's talking about how Mooda's a DMR crutch. I mean, I don't blame anyone for being a DMR crutch. I assume that was just based off audio, because yeah, he's sprinting up C4. That is 100% something you could just easily learn from any stack that would try to teach you the game. He did slowly follow the Blackbeard, but then he aimed somewhere completely irrelevant, so I'm going to assume that was just a coincidence. And he does it again here. So people also have said like, oh, if you watch anyone's match replay, you'll always get lineups like this. And it does happen. 100% it happens. But I would say from my experience watching, how many would that be now? I think it's been almost 1,500 different hacker replay files, because it's 250 times 6. And then we also did the special where I did 200. So it's like 1,700 hacker replay files over the last 5 years. You learn that when someone is, you know, not cheating, that on average, a lineup like that would maybe happen once or twice max in a match. So it's around 4. I don't think we'll count the Blackbeard one because it's like, you know, he didn't even shoot at him. The lineup with Capital, we'll give him that 1. It's like, you know, it happens. 100%. Because at any given time, when you aim at someone, or aim somewhere, you might hit, or you might line up with them. And the outlines just make it way more suspicious than it needs to be. Not trying to read too much into it, but at the end there when he's like running around. I think that's the thing that people bring up the most is that there are times where it looks like he knows exactly like where people are, what to do, blah blah. But then there's other times where it's just like he looks so lost. Like there at the end of the round, I'd say he looked lost. He looked like he had no idea where he could go, like what he could do, and then before that, he's fragging people. That being said, you know, when people learn siege maps, you do kind of learn it in parts. Oh, he left right around. Everyone will learn, like, you know, certain parts of the map, whatever is more played. So you could argue that he knows the barrow side a lot more because everyone pushes there, but he might not know freezer. Replay files are so bugged this season. While we wait for it to load up. Thanks for sub, Stev, Kevin. 3 months from Wykerek. Muddy 2 Savage, Peter, Drip Johnson, Reaper, Steel Soul. Thank you all for the subs. Oh my god. This is a Peter level barbed wire. If you just move it a little bit more, it's better, but whenever I'm playing with Peter, I'm like, is this your barbed wire? He's like, yeah. I think it's because a lot of people, especially early on, forget that you can just punch barbed wire from around a corner. You need to make it in a spot where if you're going to punch it, they gotta be vulnerable. That's fuck me. I haven't putting any of my shit down. Spoken like a true ranked teammate. Is he even aiming? Oh, I was gonna say now he's aiming at the door. What is that charm he has? Oh, a streamer charm, is it? Looks like a beaver with a baseball cap on. It's from The Boys. Oh. I don't remember that. I remember the Mother's Milk. And a whole lot of nothing this round. Wait, is that obsidian? This is what we're left to review when nothing happens. The skins. I will say this does feel like 90% of my lobbies when I'm fighting for my life upstairs and I'm like, guys, they're pushing me everywhere. Like I'm being droned, I'm being shot through the wall, what do I do? And then you cut to my teammate and they're just like dun 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 dun, just sitting and holding nothing. Just like, guys, please, please, please. A very questionable decision, but that would more line up with being a newer player. That's Dokkaebi. How does he know that she's there? So everyone's getting calls, so you definitely would not be able to hear her footsteps because, like, Azami still has her phone call ringing, so does Sentry. So, like, the noises being this close would make it where you can't hear footsteps. She takes, like, 2 steps, kind of stops, he aims right at her. and then hits nothing. So, to go back to what I said earlier, I think for a lot of the creators who are like, oh, he's fine or whatever, I guarantee you, if you show them that clip, like 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, he's cheating. If you don't say who it is. And people are trying to say that it's because Dokubi was shooting, but people also don't realize that Dokubi shot from there, meaning that the lineup would have to be, you know, a little bit different than what he did. 'Cause even though there is a hole there, he aims to the right of the hole, and he aims where she is now, not where she was before. So again, it's just small stuff like that. You're like, but then that's when usually the Mooda defenders come in and they're like, well, he's just faking it. He's making it look like he's cheating for clips. But it's like, that's not really how that works. Without having massive knowledge in the game, you can't really just consistently fake wall hacks. It doesn't work like that. That's the one benefit we have of Siege. It is generally a lot easier to tell if someone is cheating at any point because of stuff like that. That's why Hacker Replay has been so successful. This was a normal reaction. You'd be able to hear Ace walking there because it's just on the other side of the wall. He doesn't even get the kill. Sentry does. Alright, now we go to overtime. I know it says round 6, but it's actually overtime because of the one disconnect round. So far, what is that now? 2 lineups through walls? So we're already at our limit. Again, I'd say normally in a match with a high-level player, maybe 2 instances of lining someone up through a wall when you don't intend to. I'm just going to keep skipping forward through prep phase because he still doesn't really seem to know what to do. Which I assume is because if he's with a stack, they're going to be like, just go kill people. Like, don't worry about site setup. Go operators who are easy and that you don't have to do anything with. Makes sense. I do the same thing. Okay, just for future reference, because it does show that he is the 4 ping. So if we see a 4 ping, it means it is from him. Also, just going to take a second to appreciate this Denari setup, because this is intense. So you do 3 here, 1 there, 2 here, 1 over here, and that covers freezer door, stairs, and blue door. Kind of crazy. A whole lot of nothing. Oh, shit's popping off. So this is the clip that I've seen. This is the one that people were posting everywhere saying super, super suspicious because of this. So let's watch that all back in slow-mo and I'll explain my thoughts. So I'm sure at this point, if we were to go back into their VODs, you'd probably be able to hear a lot of people, you know, being like, oh shit, freezer, main stairs, they're pushing everything, like panic, whatever. So he aims over here to hold freezer. Normal. And then you see here in a millisecond, he's about to swing and pre-fire the Ash. Or not, it's not a 100% pre-fire, but it's very close because it's insanely fast reaction time. That's in slow-mo. But then on top of shooting the Ash like that, he keeps shooting and he keeps going over to the Dokubi. So we'll do it 1 speed so it looks more normal. Kind kind of crazy, but not out of the realm of possibility. For anyone who is a veteran FPS player in general, they'll know how to flick. Like Counter-Strike, Valorant. I want to say COD, but I don't think we give COD any credit there. So he goes kill, flick over, hits the Dokkaebi, double kill C4, but then here is the most incriminating part. He shoots at Blackbeard through a wall. And I know people will try to defend and say, you'd be able to hear Blackbeard, it would be a call out, but from here, if you were to hear audio on Blackbeard, it would not sound super close. There's a big difference in audio in Siege between right next to you or like right in front of you versus over a cabinet on the other side of a wall. This would sound much more distant. If he were standing right here right now, you would hear that way more like as a close sound and you'd freak out. But he's already backed up. He's already walking away. And then Mooda tries to shoot at him through the wall. So again, if we're counting how many times he's lined people up through walls and stuff, this is now the third time in one match. He shoots, realizes no one's here, and then just runs away. And then what I find interesting there, at least, again, this would be, overwhelming for any new player. But even though he knew that, or he suspected that someone was over here, he's holding that. But I would assume that would just be confusion from his teammate killing someone, and he's like, I don't know who's alive, who's dead. And then they win the round. So, I think a lot of people, rightfully so, are suspicious of that lineup on Blackbeard through the wall from here to there. And again, I think if you showed this to any content creator on a normal day of the week, and you said, do you think this person's cheating? 99% of the time they would say 100% he's cheating. They'd say he has walls and he has no idea where he actually is. He just thinks he's here, but he's actually over here. Especially when you couple it with the level. Again, content creators as a whole in Siege are very, very suspicious of a low-level player performing incredibly well, as we have every right to be because, cheaters run rampant in Siege. So, that's where I feel like there's a bit of bias. Creators look at that and they're like, no, he's fine, like, it's Mooda, it's fine. But it's like, in a blind test, they're probably going to say, no, he's cheating, and report him. And then we're going to go into the last round. And we'll say he's playing Grim. Excellent taste in operators. Say it was me doing it, would you think I'm cheating? Well, no, because you're probably like in copper rank. But seeing as how this is in Champ Elo and it's a low-level account, again, you show that context to any content creator with that clip and they'd say 100% they're cheating. But the chatters who are hard-stuck copper, obviously, if you have that clip, we're not going to assume you're cheating because we're just going to think you're lost. But then you can make the argument that since he is newer, maybe he's lost. The issue is how inconsistent it is on when he seems lost versus when he's not lost. Because again, like throwing back to, remember on round 3, I think it was, when he pushed in through small tower or through big tower, like shot at the guy on green hall, and everyone's like common angle. I'd argue that in most cases on Oregon, this is a much more common angle, and he just like isn't sure where to aim. He shoots too far to left, then he flicks back and kills him. So it's like when people say common angles, I'm like, he doesn't seem to know any of the common angles, or like at least not a lot of them. Because, like, Kitchen is a tertiary site that most people don't play because usually you lose one of the first two sites. So, that is not an angle people should be as familiar with since it is much less common. Meanwhile, this is the attic push is a way more common angle. He did aim at the Azami here, but actually, I don't really. This is now the fourth time he's aimed right at someone, but let's try to deduce why he would try to do this. Maybe he thought the Azami would be lower, like the Azami barrier. So he's trying to get an angle, and then he's like, oh, it's too high. But even if, again, common angle, if he is trying to push this and he knows common angles, he should know that he should be aiming over here. But instead he's aiming right at the Azami. So it's just, you know, that inconsistency. In one situation, it's like, nope, common angle. Other one, it's like, oh, well, you know, like, he just doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, it's got to be one or the other. You saw the guy by bunks. Canceled the reload, one-tapped the Rooney in the head on the flank. And he did see this guy by the bunk bed. This is the only person that he, like, very clear as day saw on the drone. And he gets the kill. So, again, when you add it all up, I think that was, so Azami, he aimed at the Ella at the end there through the barricade, or the bunk bed as well. And we had 3 other instances before that. So 5 instances in one match of him aiming at someone through a wall. When I think the average would be realistically 1 to 2. Maybe 3 in an overtime match. So he's already 2 above. And again, a lot of inconsistency between knowing common angles and not knowing common angles. And I would argue he, for some reason, seems to be much more familiar with the uncommon angles than the common ones, which makes 0 sense. Even if you have champ level players trying to teach you the game, they wouldn't teach you uncommon angles first, because then you're just going to die to the common ones. So, and I know people have been trying to argue like, oh, but he was an old player, blah, blah. I think from the account he played in like year 2. So this would all be pre-Oregon rework. So this would be a brand new map. But here's where we can do a little bit of research to determine, you know, how knowledgeable of the map should he be. I know his account's MasterJack2244. So he's currently at 60 hours of playtime in Emerald 2. The easy way to determine how knowledgeable he should be on a map is how many times has he played Oregon, and when did he play Oregon here. So this was on April 11th. This was his 4th time ever playing Oregon in all playlists. So 4th time on a map ever? Should he know a lot of those angles? Probably not. But that being said, he did look a little lost as well. So it's like, again, inconsistencies. How can you struggle to learn like or know the layout of a map, but then know common angles, but then also forget those common angles? It's just, a lot of it doesn't make sense. Now, I would not say that it on its own says he's cheating, but when you start adding in a lot of other stuff, then it's like, okay, where do you draw the line? And I think one more thing I forgot. There were so many things I had to like go over at the beginning that I forgot about a bunch of them. So one of the most common defenses I've heard about him from both creators and from viewers is that people say, why would he risk his whole career when like he could get exposed for cheating and lose it all? I really don't see that as an argument for anyone ever anywhere, because You could look at competitive play in anything, and people at the top always cheat. Like, it happens in everything. For example, we can even just use the Olympics recently as an example. In curling, Team Canada became a meme across the entire world because their captain or whatever, I don't know what they call them, was cheating. And that's in a global competition on the main stage in front of everyone, and he cheated. And then he's like, well, everyone else was cheating too. It happens. No matter at what level you're at, people will always cheat. And people will be like, oh, but like, what does he have to gain from it? I mean, I think if you look at everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks and how much his viewership has spiked up because of all these accusations, I think there's a lot to gain there. I don't think there's really much to risk as long as he's not blatant about it. Which I think if you play any FPS, I think you get any knowledgeable FPS player, give them walls and a new game, and they would probably know what to do to not make it at least completely obvious. Again, not saying that he is cheating 100%, but I'm just saying if you were to do that, because people are like, oh, but then he'd be blatant. But like, if people have walls they can toggle on and off, it's not really the craziest thing to assume that they would know what to do. But even to go on other examples, I know we mentioned this yesterday, because again, people are like, he's a huge creator. Why would he risk his entire career cheating? Dr. Lupo cheated in a chess tournament. I think it was for charity as well. And I'd say Dr. Lupo is a significantly larger creator than Mooda. So if he's able, or if he's willing to cheat in a chess tournament for charity that gains him absolutely nothing, and then he gets caught for it and admits that he's cheating, I don't really see that being a valid defense to say, why would he do it in Siege? It makes no sense. It's not to say that he is cheating, but that is just a terrible defense for him. It makes zero sense. All right. That was match 1. What we'll do is a little chat interaction. I know YouTube hates when I have chat on the screen, but what I'm going to do is... One sec. Oh. I thought this would go more vertical, but it didn't. All right, chat. After watching Oregon, do you think he's cheating? Not cheating? Answer now. Hi, YouTube chat. Poor YouTube people aren't on the screen. So, I'd say the hefty majority of chat says cheating. Maybe 90% say cheating. We have 2 more matches to go over. I'll reevaluate, or I'll get chat's opinion again after Border and then after Cafe. So this will also be the key thing here. We've seen how he plays on Oregon. Is this consistent? Is this going to be a common thing? Let's find out. I assume he is useful Ruby because I know everyone else's names by now. I do also know, so one of them is Kane Atwood, who... I'll just say, over the last week, I've been sent clips by a lot of different people of a lot of people accusing Mooda in different circumstances, and I know one of them was Kane, was showing other creators clips and being like, I don't know if he's legit. Like, this seems way too suspicious. One of them was that Oregon clip, so... Again, it does say a lot when your own team or your own group is like, he probably is cheating. It's not a good look. I'm still so fucking jealous of this pink ice. So right there, you can see a visible, like, educational moment where he realizes, like, oh shit, the wall's open. Oh shit, this is like, there's a zombie barrier back there. That was a genuine reaction. Okay, I'm gonna have to put on my... or turn off the outlines. I'm gonna have to fucking lean in for this. Cause I could not see the class shield, but it was because of the outline, I think. Okay, you can already see 2 lines there. So I'm guessing he saw the 2 lines, realized he was looking at those 2 lines, is like, he's like, I think that's a person, but then pre-fires. I guess you would argue that as a newer player, since he doesn't really know Clash, he's not expecting it to be a bulletproof shield looking at him. I will say, watching newer players play against Clash is one of my favorite things in the world. It's a pretty normal round. Much more... what's the term I'm looking for? Like, discovery than Oregon had as a whole. Where I feel like if you watch that, you can actually tell he's, like, learning. But in Oregon, it looked like he just knew. Also, oh no, he killed the guy who ran out. I was like, how did he get 2 kills? I forgot about the East Stairs run out. Thanks for sub Invixity. I can only imagine that in the voice call, they were like, whoa, watch out, there could be spawn peaks. And he's like, what? And then he just prone on the ground because he was terrified. That's like 90% of the lobbies I'm in with my friends who are newer to Siege. I'm like, watch out for spawn peaks. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then they just prone out of panic. I can't believe they took our shield armory rush patent pending from Evan. It's good to know that my stack is so influential. Did he team kill there? See, it's stuff like this that it's like, where do you draw the line, and like at what point does it stop making sense? Where you saw there, he aimed right at the Goyo through the wall, missed his shots, and then team killed, and then like here, I feel like there's some weird gap in the mechanics where he scans and then he's just like, oh fuck, I didn't mean to fast forward. He scans and then like he's just hip firing because he's shooting way too early. So I'm like, so he's good enough to do a lot of the other stuff, but then he just still doesn't understand the timing of reloads. So again, going back to what we said before, it's all about like, it's just inconsistent. I'm not even gonna bother looking at the droning because I don't think we really will learn anything from droning. That was also something else that I heard in his defense, for Mooda's defense, that yesterday, so he 1v1 Jinxie with a monitor cam on to show that he wasn't walling, and people were saying that he changed, that he went from never droning to droning all the time in that 1v1. And I was like, I don't agree, because I watched his 1v1 with Jinxie and he was droning all the time. I'm like, I doubt anything really changed there. So here, he does get shot at by the Aruni. Shotguns it open. He does aim at the Aruni through the wall. Once the door breaks, he realizes he's hitting the wall, and then he aims at the middle of the door before correcting to the corner. You could argue that that is him not knowing the map. As we've said before with other rounds. I mean, that does help him. Looking the wrong way. Not sure what to shoot at. But then the people who are also, I won't want to say witch hunting, but who are very much against Mooda do claim that he toggles a lot. He didn't shoot. But this is one of those cases where we'll talk, or we've mentioned that, like, you know, you accidentally aim at someone through a wall. Like, I'd say that's, like, what a normal one looks like, where it's like, okay, if you had known someone was there, obviously you would have shot and killed them. But he doesn't know, so he doesn't shoot. But, like, that would be a more normal one, where it's like, yeah, you're just aiming at somewhere, and then someone happens to line up with it. I think his teammate who ran out killed... Oh, just one of them. Let me watch this part. He does aim at the... Who is this? Ash? But you would assume, like, obviously, someone just died here. They were pushing the door. You have every right to assume that you're going to aim towards the door. And that just looks like a typical, he doesn't realize that there's a vending machine in the way. And then the only suspicious part right there is that he does aim at, like, head level height. And then as Ace gets lower, he aims lower. Actually, oh no, he kind of stays low the entire time. So Ace kind of walks into his lineup. Like, not even that suspicious there. But so far, that's in one round twice where he did happen to line up with someone, but nothing happened. Going back to our whole statement of, I think in a match, maybe 2 or 3 times a lobby you'll see that. They know where he is and everyone runs out on him. Why did it swing down to the head when Ash was downed? I can go back and check that. I didn't notice that. I think that might have been him crouching. I'll check. So the claim is that as Ash went down, his aim changed with her. I don't think that was him having his aim change when she gets downed. I think that was him realizing that the vending machine is in the way, and he's like, I don't know, panic aim. Because like here, so Ash gets downed, he's still aiming high up. He realizes the vending machine's in the way, and then he's like, and then isn't sure where to aim. So I think that was like a panic flick. Without really, like, it didn't really do anything. I see what you mean, but I don't think that was anything. Ooh, Ella. Every new player's favorite operator. A girl wearing tights and a gun that goes... A panic flick of what? Like, I'd say it's pretty common, especially for the lower players. Again, after watching so many match replays, I feel like I've noticed the trend is, like, newer players, if they are expecting one thing, and then what they see does not meet their expectations, they, like, panic and they, like... move their aim, like what do I do? So I would assume in that case, he was aiming, expecting to see the doorway and see someone. And then when he realized that nothing is there, he's like, what do I do? And then, you know, you panic, you move. It happens a lot. But then that does make the argument of, like, if he is, like, you know, we're saying it's because he's a new player, how is he frying a lot of, like, champs and diamonds and stuff? I'd say, like, I don't know. Here, this is much more what I would expect for a normal, like, newer player in Siege who has FPS experience, is sometimes they'll play aggressive, they'll whiff because they're not used to the aiming and stuff in Siege. But then, like, when we looked at Oregon, he didn't look anything like this. Like, I can't even think if there... I don't remember there ever being a single round where he had, like, really bad aim like this. But Border did come first, so maybe he was warming up, you know? You can give him that excuse. Oh my god, that just skipped the entire round. Bro, these guys are taking all of our strats. They took the Blitz Armory Rush. 100% we came up with that on our own. No one ever influenced us. And now they're taking Evan and Kit's Goy Rooney, where you put an Aruni on a barricade that has a Goyo on it. It does take a lot to be a trendsetter like us. Interesting barbed wire. Only because very rarely do people actually push that hallway unless it comes down to, like, you know, you don't really have any options. Also, is this the actual Renton? Renton 2895? The Cav and Blitz main? It is him? Oh. I'll never forget one of the events I went to. One of the Wi-Fi passwords was Renton drop from that famous gotcha clip where he says, he's like, Renton drop on Old Oregon. I'd say that round was a whole lot of nothing. They all try to push in one way and then just get punished. Like here, he's aiming right over at him, but then he realizes that he's on a boost angle and he clicks up. So I wouldn't say anything crazy there in this match. I think, what was it though? 3 instances total of him happening to line up with someone through a wall. If I'm remembering correctly. I'm old now, so my memory is not what it used to be. Actually, wait. Before we get into next match, I'll get chat to answer the question again. All right. We'll go to the screen so the chat pops up more. And now again, chat. After the second match, do you think he's cheating or not cheating? I would say the border match, in my opinion, was much more normal. Still some instances of lining people up, but nothing crazy. Is I don't know an option? Yeah, you can say I don't know. If you really don't know. A lot of people still saying cheating. Some people saying that he's toggling. Now, we can do our due diligence, do a little bit of research to determine, you know, would there be reason for him to be worse in this map than compared to Oregon? Let's look up. Modern Warzone, as someone who is terrible, there are too many coincidences happening in a short span of time for me to think he's legit. So I'll use you as an example. Modern Warzone, you're obviously more of a COD creator. You've been playing Siege for a while, I know that, but even you admit, like, you know, harder for you to learn the game and harder for you to be good at the game versus, in this case, a Valorant creator who picked up the game and looks like someone who's been playing for thousands of hours. So I know that's a lot of examples people have been using as other creators like Shroud, who came into Siege and didn't look anything like that, even though he is considered to be one of the best FPS players of all time. So that is an argument a lot of people use. Okay. Let's look at how many times has he played Border in his life. So that was the second time other than the Jinxie 1v1 that he played Border, which would make sense why he looks a lot more lost, didn't do as well. He hasn't played the map as much. So we look at Border twice, and then what was the other map? Oregon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know he played it in the 1v1s as well. So he's played Oregon a lot more, so he would know the map a lot more. Border, he has barely played it. And we've already talked about this, but I'll talk about it again because I see a few people in chat saying it. There keeps being this, like, I know people say we have conspiracy theories for how he's playing, blah, blah, blah. I'd still say this is a much larger conspiracy theory, is that people keep being like, he's on a Smurf and he has thousands of hours. Like, he knows the game so well, but he's just pretending not to know it. I'm like, I know people say content is scripted. Content creators do a lot of scripted things. Obviously, that happens. But to imagine that the creator is probably putting in minimum like 4 or 5 hours every single day offline to learn and practice a game just to stream it and look lost makes zero sense. Like, I truly don't know what you would stand to gain other than, I guess, if this exact whole situation played out exactly how it has been. But, like, hate to break it to you guys, content isn't that planned. People usually, you know, they'll have a script. They'll be like, oh, in this 1v1, let me win, and then I'll let you win in the next one, blah, blah, blah. But the conspiracy theory that he's somehow dedicating hundreds of hours off stream to be a really good player just to fake it all on stream just doesn't make, like, any sense. Because I feel like, unless this exact situation played out, in most cases, you would be way better off as a creator to play the game brand new, and like he's already playing with Jinxie and stuff, and just be like, I'm new, like teach me the game, and having Jinxie teach him the game. That would be way better for content and way better for everyone than to fake being new. It just, the conspiracy theories are crazy. All right, let's watch match number 3. He is classic Koala. I did think Kudos was memeing a little bit when he said that he's a DMR crutch, but he really does play a lot of DMR. He's now swapped to Buck, but I think in all those matches we played, I think more than 50% of the time he was on a DMR. I don't blame him. If I were a new player, I'd probably only play DMRs as well. So right off the bat, one thing I'll mention that I think a lot of people will say is pretty different in this match compared to other matches. In a lot of the other matches he played, he would jiggle peek a lot. He would pre-fire. And then here he just looks like he's... This is like what an actual brand new player looks like when they like... Are like, oh shit, like a window? And then they just do this slow peek and they just kind of stare. Because for a lot of newer players, you know, you stare, you're like, okay, what am I looking at? What am I processing? Like, okay, it's a window. There's a potential angle there. They opened it. They could have been spawn peeking. Maybe someone might come back, blah, blah. You're processing all that stuff. But then when you look at the other maps, it was just like, no processing, just boom, 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 boom. Again, where the inconsistencies come from. I know people will say, well, he's a Valorant champ or whatever. Like, he's not going to play like that. He's so good. Again, no matter what game you come from, Siege is incredibly complex and really hard to learn. Also, tell a little story while we watch what's about to happen. I even remember back in the day when Shroud got into Siege. I used to watch Shroud a lot, like way back in the day, and I would watch him playing Siege as he was trying to get into it. And like Shroud, obviously crazy, like gifted mechanically, insane aim, and he would have so many clips where he would just like absolutely fry someone, just purely based off of like a reaction flick as someone's pushing him. But if he wasn't getting the kills, he would always look so lost. He'd be like, I don't know where I am, what I'm doing, like, where am I going? How do I get there? People would be like, oh, over, like, in this room. He's like, I don't know what that is. So, like, that's a much more standard, I guess, approach as a really good player coming into the game, is having really good aim, but being very lost otherwise. I would say I don't really see that too much here. And then to, I guess, play devil's advocate for both sides, that is where a lot of people get the suspicions from, because they're like, well, if he doesn't look lost, it probably means he has walls, because if you're not worried about stuff, like, you're not going to look as lost. Looking lost usually comes from being worried that someone could be somewhere and you have no idea. We also did see in the last round, it was like the most minuscule amount. He did happen to line someone up, but I don't think that was even like worth that much of mentioning. Of course, I see something here in the replay bugs out. So chat's talking about what I mentioned. I don't think what he did in the last round was that crazy. We can go back if you guys want to see it, but again, this is a much more normal new player approach where he peeked and he's like, oh shit, right, the windows. I forgot about the windows, because again, that's how you learn the map. You see it the first time, you try to learn, and then each time you push there, you remember. I saw here, I think when he pushes in this time, he peeks, and he happens to be aiming right at the Aruni, which, you know, a little weird that he's like aiming right at her, and then as he peeks the door, he flicks to the left. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but you could argue that it's because he doesn't know exactly where the door is. So he was aiming there, thinking the door is closer, and then he's like, oh shit, it's over here, and then he flicks to the left. Also, I don't know what his sensitivity is, but holy shit, when he drones, it makes me feel nauseous. He's just like spinning 360s nonstop. I don't know if it's just the replay file, because the replay file can be a little bit buggy like that, but it does feel nauseating. I know the people who think Mooda's cheating will eat this up right here. So he drones, he sees that Kaid is pushing in through the rotate hole into bakery. His drone dies, so he starts pre-firing. You might have seen Kaid there for like half a second. Or no, that would have been even less because we're on 0.5 speed. But then when he swings again, he keeps shooting right at where the Aruni is through the wall. Like he's aiming basically on her head, shooting at her head. But the Kaid is obviously to the right, and then Kaid kills him. So I'm sure a lot of people look at that and be like, bro, he's shooting at a Rooney through a wall. Yeah, you're not wrong. He is. And then, of course, there's always the defense of common pre-fires, you know. That is a very common spot a lot of people sit at, and a lot of people will pre-fire. But seeing as how he doesn't even know about the third floor windows over here, and he keeps forgetting about them every time he spawns, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that this would not be a common pre-fire for him to know. Just throwing that out there. Chat did say that in the ending of this round, they saw 2 instances of him lining up people through walls. I only saw 1, but I was telling the story. He does do it here. I did notice this, but I didn't find it that suspicious. I was like, if he's planning on pushing the door, you know, he'd aim towards the door if you know the door is here, but he does aim right at Scopos and then move away from him. But if you play that at normal speed, that was like, you know, half a second to a second. Nothing crazy. He does aim at the body there, but I would assume coincidental. He panic, gets on his drone, isn't sure what to do. You guys can take that for what you will. I know there's a lot of discussion in chat right now about pre-firing. So this is where I have very little expertise. So it's up to, you know, the community to make the decision there. I apparently in Valorant, pre-firing, you pre-fire everything. That's what I keep seeing people say. They're like, Valorant would teach them this. Like, you pre-fire every single thing that you see, every angle. I don't know how true that is because I don't play Valorant. But if it is true, then that would make sense why he pre-fires a lot. Because if you learn that in Valorant, you're going to pre-fire everything you see in, like, any instance on Siege. But then we also see stuff like that where, like, he looked down Skylight, he didn't pre-fire anything. So part of me is like, you know, if these behaviors are expected to be something he's learned and to be consistent, he should be doing it consistently. But he doesn't. Oof. Not a good Hibana. You can't get through that. He does hop on drones a lot, but then he never actually, like, uses them. He'll just, like, hop on them and then do nothing. Here, he does aim at the warden through the wall, but you could assume that it's because he forgot how far to the corner the breach would be. Like, he aims right at warden's crotch, and then he moves over to the right. And then dies. I'd say that looked more, you know, what you'd expect. Because as a newer player, you would see that, or like you would go to peek that and you'd forget because, you know, it's Siege. Siege has destruction, different destruction than any other game. You would normally forget and be like, oh, where exactly is the breach hole? What angle would he be holding? And there's a lot to remember in process. We are nearing the end of this match, though. I think we only got 2 more rounds after this. Why did I fast forward there? You can always scan the angle and aim at the end of the hole, not the wall itself, then overcorrect. You can, 100%. But the mistake he made there at the end of the round is what you'd expect, again, more from a newer player, because the movement shouldn't be, you know, as good as a experienced player where you'll, like, do a small peek, see the angle, and then wide swing after. So that mistake in movement is what exactly you'd expect, where he overswung, wasn't sure where he was looking at, aimed at the wrong part, and then died. That's what he should be consistently doing as a newer player. But instead, I would argue that that has happened much less than him just, you know, seeming to know where someone is. Because I would say anyone under sub 100 hours, what he did in that round should be like 90% of your interactions. But instead it's more like, you know, 10 to 20%. This is a killer example of gaming scene in 2026. Lots of cheaters and you can't tell who is and isn't anymore. I mean, one of the biggest issues is, especially in Siege, and why people are so, you know, overall suspicious, is because cheats in Siege have gotten to a new level. I'm sure every game has this, but obviously I can only speak for Siege, where they are actively doing things in the cheating scene, like making it where if you have aimbot, it will automatically add shake so that it looks like you're struggling to control your gun, and so that it doesn't get flagged as blatant aimbot, because blatant aimbot, you'll aim right at someone and the gun won't move, it'll just stay locked on. Like, they're adding all of these variations to make it much harder to detect. Not to mention that AI has been a big problem in both, like, cheating in Siege, but also every other game. Is like, AI cheats are now just everywhere, and they can adapt so quickly to anti-cheat, which is just frustrating for anyone. Also, did I say that right? Is default cam still up when he got that kill? There's no way. Hibana. Shoot the default cam. I know we've only seen one defense on this map. I could be wrong. I feel like that's the first time he's ever been on cameras on defense. Other than when he's dead, obviously. He's just like my teammates. We've also been watching now for like an hour and 15 minutes, so who the fuck remembers? I think that second ping is him. So someone pings above him. They have the cocktail, like, third floor camera still up. He pings. And then Mooda pings. So someone, or Kane, calls that someone's above. And they call with a ping that someone's, like, right on that spot. What I'm learning from this enemy team is they are not shooting, like, any default cams at all. Why can't I get these enemies in ranked? Actually, no, you know what? We would get these enemies, but then our teammates would red ping on the camera, and then they would destroy the camera. Guaranteed. So, we know that the Ashe jumped over the red balcony and shot to cover the sound of her dropping. That is a very common champ level play, very common strat that a lot of pros run to cover all sound. I would assume he shouldn't know this. Again, he only has 60 hours. He probably shouldn't be aware of using the gunshot to mask your vault. And I don't think he was, because it looked like he was still aiming at the bottom of red, waiting for him to peek. And then when he heard Ashe walking, that's when he swung. And then whiffed.
I just love Dex, bro.
That was a reaction shot. Pretty normal. Nothing there. Thanks for sub, Jinx Reflex. Also, one point in his favor that I think a lot of people are forgetting about is that at the end of the day, a lot of people, if they got into Siege and they were immediately queuing with a champ level stack, would probably learn a lot very, very quickly. Because obviously most people who play the game for the first time get into like silver or bronze, then they work their way up and they learn very slowly. So Mooda does have the unique opportunity here to be learning a lot from this team. Now, I haven't looked at the stream VODs. I don't know if they're like educating him and being like, hey, you should do this. Hey, this is an angle. Hey, do this. If they aren't telling him anything, I'm like, how is he learning all this without anyone educating him? Or at least learning it that quickly. But I truly don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're teaching him or if they're just playing to play and he's just trying to pick up what he can. Not sure. So I remember it was Evan who told us that we should be playing ranked with Kit. Kit not being the greatest in our group. And he's like, the best way for Kit to learn is to play in champ. And then we play ranked champ and Kit fucking gets destroyed and hates it. But we're also not educating him. Like, the average newer player should obviously get absolutely destroyed in champ level ranked. His sense 100% gives me motion sickness. Yeah, it is a little high. Which would be surprising, because I think in Valorant, as well as almost any other FPS, people tend to play on super low sense. For him to be on such a high sense is crazy. So from this position, the sound should be roughly the same regardless of it's Nomad or Ash moving. Because as you move in here, the sound just comes through the doorway and it's straight ahead. It should be fairly similar. He also would be dealing with tinnitus from the flashbang. Even though he didn't get flashed, it still landed close to him. So I think that should be affecting his ears. But then as Ash is pushing up, he aims down. Kills her. I mean, I'd say for this entire match, I feel like that's the first instance I've seen of him being pretty suspicious. This also being a little bit suspicious that he's ready for that. He also was ready for the... I was going to say, this seems like such a dumb position to play if you know the game because you can get shot from Skylight. But even though he gets the kill, he then immediately he turns around and he's aiming at the Skylight. Like, he's ready for that. But that's it for this match. So for him to know... I don't know. For him to know that Skylight angle from Cigar and be ready for someone to be sitting up there waiting for him just seems so odd when you go back and you're like, oh yeah, when he spawned over here, he didn't know that there were windows here and he was like panicking on what to do. But then he knows this much less commonly known angle. Inconsistent. Let's find out how much he's played Cafe. Cafe Dostoevsky. That was his 4th time ever playing it, that match. He played it 3 times, didn't do insanely well in any of them. Played again, went even, played again, went positive by 1. So, makes sense that he seemed kind of confused on some parts. Makes less sense that he was very knowledgeable on other parts. Now, obviously, everyone learns different parts of Siege at different rates, but yeah, not knowing the window spawn peak, but knowing the Skylight angle onto CS is a little crazy. All right, we'll get chat's opinion for the 3rd match. So after watching Oregon, Border, and now Cafe, do you still think he's cheating, or do you think he's not cheating? Or, I don't know, in case people would want to be more in the middle. I have to allow that message from Skittles. But, so most of the chat thinks he's still cheating. I would say after watching all the matches, I think everything he did in these matches is substantially more suspicious than anything he did in the 1v1s. So similar to what Fett said in his tweet, the 1v1s, you know, you can write it off because it's a 1v1. Who cares? No one really expects much there. But the way he played in ranked is just so all over the place. And to be fair, in his defense, newer players will be all over the place. Newer players won't be consistent. They won't do the same thing over and over again because they're still learning. But the consistency issues I had is sometimes he knows exactly where everyone is, fries them, and knows every normal common angle that, us veterans know. But then when it's not like that, he looks like he's completely lost. He does not know any of the map layout. And he has lots of instances of lining up people through walls and then aiming away from them. So it's still kind of up in the air. I would personally say that if you were to show me these matches, you didn't tell me who it was. You just said, are they cheating or not? Especially watching the Oregon match, especially looking at his level, looking at his time played and everything, I'd say I would assume he's cheating. And I would assume that he just wasn't sure how to hide it half the time. And I think, again, most content creators, if you showed them that without telling them it was Mooda, I think 99% of them would all say they're cheating. Like, creators love to just say this person's cheating 100% blah blah with almost no evidence. But then when it's a case of a content creator where they are hoping to probably collaborate with them and gain some of their viewership, they're much more likely to give some leniency and just be like, nah, he can't be cheating. And again, for the people who claim like, well, he's a content creator, why would he risk it all? That's just a nothing argument. People cheat all the time in every field, in every level of competition. It truly does not matter that it's a content creator. Like, Dream cheated in Minecraft. Dr. Lupo cheated in a chess charity event. Pros have been caught cheating in different games all over the years. Now, the question remains, if he were cheating, how is he cheating? Based on what I've seen, I would assume that the type of cheat he's using is basic walls, or there's also another cheat, which I've heard about. I don't know what level it exists in Siege, but I've heard about it in other games like Counter-Strike, where when you aim down sight, it'll like lock on to people or like move your aim towards them. So you wouldn't have walls in the sense that you see like, the outline, the box, whatever. It would be like you just spam right click and then it'll like move you towards the person. And then you're like, okay, so someone's over here. That'd be like a more subtle cheat. That would be something that wouldn't be popping up on like a monitor cam, for example, if you were to use that. So I would, after all this, again, lean more on the side that he probably has something, just based off how inconsistent he is, the level of play he's playing at with very few hours. It just doesn't really add up. I don't think a PC check would be necessary because, again, they keep warning him ahead of time. They're like, we want to do a PC check on Thursday. Gives him plenty of time, if he were cheating, to delete everything, wipe his windows, and then be like, oh, got nothing on there. So I don't think a PC check will do anything. I think if you would truly want to clear his name and prove that he is just insanely good at Siege with so few hours, the only possible way to do that and to make people stop assuming he's cheating is to play ranked in champ level lobbies with a monitor cam and to play at this level that he was playing at consistently. Because like if he put on a monitor cam, played in ranked, and he shit the bed, then it's obvious. Now if he had the like what we called the or chat was calling like the soft aim cheats, monitor cam wouldn't catch that. He could still be cheating, but it'd be way less likely and way harder to like pull off without it seeming obvious, you know? So yeah. I think if he really just want to clear his name, just do a monitor cam and ranked. Easy way. And if he refuses to do that, then it's like, well, why are you doing that? Obviously he does have a lot to gain at this point where he could refuse to do a monitor cam and still play ranked and be like, well, I'm not giving into the, demands or whatever that people want, and then that'll just, get him more viewers as people continue to speculate. But I don't know, if it were me, I'd be like, yeah, I'll put on a monitor cam, show you that I'm not cheating, prove that I'm just fucking insane at this game. I think you'd have a lot more to gain by proving that you're just naturally insanely good at an incredibly complex game than you would to refuse to cooperate. But that's just me. I don't think I have anything else to say about it. Anything else to go over? I don't think so. One final look at his stats before we go. Because again, I do think any content creator who would go up against this, like, level 93, only played 68 matches, but is already Emerald 2 with a 1.4 KD and a 68% win rate. Like, I know for a fact that because I've had this before, if Skittles went up against this guy, he would report him to me and be like, yo, can you get this guy banned for me? I'd be like, no, I can't do that because I wasn't in the match. But I know for a fact creators would report someone like this at that low of a level and be like, no, there's no way they'd beat me in champ. But again, because he's a creator, they're willing to give him a lot more leniency and just assume the best. All right. That is it for the Mooda files. Oh. There we go. Okay, I'm going to update the title because now we're just going to play to play. I do have to go in 2 hours, just so you guys know. I do not have unlimited time today. I have a meeting at 4 that I got to get off for. I don't have to be exactly 4, but I should try to aim to be as close to 4 as possible. But okay. I am going to run to the washroom while we queue because I really got to pee. And if we haven't found a game by the time I'm back, I might run down and grab my water bottle because I'm really thirsty as well. By the way, if you missed any of the investigation, I will edit all of that video into tomorrow's video, just because people have been demanding it. All right. I'll be back in a sec. I was going to go get my water bottle, but we already found a match. Okay, I want to just try to get some more Raura clips because I would like to make that my Friday video if possible, but I don't know if I'll get enough today. I'm gonna try to go Skybridge. See if we can make it work. I was gonna go grab my water, or like grab my water bottle on the side, and then I don't even have it. Thought you were gonna do the wicked colors. Oh, purple and green. Nah. Annie would have been so proud. Hey, she hasn't been listening to the Wicked soundtrack as much. She started listening to BTS. K-pop is not necessarily my favorite. You wash those hands? I do wash my hands. People always claim that I don't because they think I come back from the washroom too quickly, but like, people just don't realize how efficient I am. I wash my hands while I pee. Pee is sterile, right? So, as long as I pee on my hands, they're clean. Anyone here know South Arcade? Is that a thing? I've never heard of that. Varsity would agree to 1v1 versus Bruce with cams on you. I mean, I guess. Ain't no one accusing me of cheating. So there's a Val camera here for sure, yeah. Do we think Valk's below? Don't matter, because Ash is in there. Oh, shit. Oh, flank. Oh my god, Ash. Her big ass booty just got in my way. He's 20 HP. I heard Annie just finished making my lunch. I'm gonna ask if she can bring my water bottle. Watch the cheeks. I didn't think she would back up as I was swinging the Valkyrie. Hey, there's my assist. Bro is so lazy. Hey, if she's already walking up here, you know. I'm watching some of your hacker replays and you mentioned the angled gripping center barrel for accusations, and I'm on Xbox and I have different recoil control. Was wondering if it was harder on PC. Yes. So PC recoil is, I mean, it's been a while since we've gotten confirmed numbers, but last we heard from Ubisoft, PC has 30% more recoil. Or actually, I don't even think it's 30% more. It's console has 30% less, which does actually make a difference. Because 30% less of PC is a bigger difference than 30% more of console. So yeah, whenever we see that, and if it's a PC player, you're like, alright, you're cheating. Because even pros run like vertical grip and flash hider for best possible recoil control. Unless it's like a gun that does 0-0 recoil, they will run flash hider and vertical grip. Or muzzle brake. And this PC has almost twice as much. Well, not twice as much, but it is a lot more. That's also 30% in all directions, which is what makes it even more challenging. Actually, no, I don't even think it's 30% in all directions. I think it's just the 30% verticality, and then I think horizontal is a bigger difference from PC to console. So I'm pretty sure console has like significantly less horizontal spray. That's why people always say, especially for console, they're like, just move the joystick down. PC will have a lot of like boom, 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 sideways. Uh-oh. I doubt he's gonna pre-peek that. Thank you. Someone died. I don't know what that prop was. Is there a table on the right? Yes, there is. Oh, someone with the shotgun. Oh, Twitch just went on drone. I thought Twitch was at least pushing with me. She was not. Wait, what was the drop sound I heard? I thought there was a table here that she dropped off of. I don't know what I heard then. I feel like Canal may not be a railroad level map. Nothing I can really do with it. I'll go railroad again, but maybe I just go above. Do I have breaching charges? Oh, I do. Alright, I'm gonna go get my water. I'll be back. She's so nonchalant. Oh, fuck. Once in my life, I want to hear someone describe someone as chalant. I'm convinced that chalant itself is not a word, only nonchalant is. I could Rowra that door. Oh my god. I think I'd do it. Just to piss them off. Oh wait, but I'm gonna be so exposed. My whole bottom part of my body will be exposed. What? What are you doing? Uh-oh. Not the whiffs. My, I'm out of launchers. Oh. Oh. Oh, he dropped? Oh, I didn't even hear that. That's so unfortunate. I was trying to go to the other site. I'm surprised that my teammate literally planted right below a giant hole in the ceiling, but I guess he just tried to get the diffuser down. They keep planting in front of holes. He has 4 bullets. Wait. Did time run out? Do I have an audio bug? I didn't even hear anything. You know what I probably should start doing? After I do any type of match replay, I should restart my game. Because I think every time I do match replays, I no longer hear the end of round audio. And then I obviously don't trust normal audio, because I'm like, if I'm missing that, what else am I missing? Mine got fixed by putting Siege on an SSD. Bold of you to assume that I don't already have Siege on an SSD. Okay, after this game, I need to remember, restart. So chat today, we're living large. Smoked salmon bagel. Let's go. Not really holding Sky Bridge. Bro's eating bagel. Oh my god. We're all kind of stacked on each other, and there's someone in the hallway. Oh, the ash was all the way in the back. I should have gone below. Actually, I wouldn't have been able to drop. There was nowhere safe for me to cross without dying. And what kind of cream cheese? The creamy kind. And smoke should be able to last a bit longer. I kind of agree, only because I feel like smoke now has fallen so off that the only possible benefit with him is the fact that you can throw them late wherever you want to deny plant, which is a pretty big benefit. But when, especially at the higher level, when people play very consistently the same strats, you know where they're going to push and you know where they're going to plant. So Goyo is just de facto better because he has a minute and a half of denial on Goyos, but he has to pre-place them and they can be countered. Where Smoke just has to throw them and very unlikely to be countered. $50 billion kilograms. Genius. I think personally the only thing I'd want to see from Smoke to be different is I want his smokes to be more consistent. Because it's still in the old smoke system, it's so hard to tell what is in and what's not. So sometimes you can be inside the smoke and just take 0 damage. Sometimes you feel like you're completely outside of it and you take 1,000,000 damage. So it'd be nice if they just did a more consistent smoke situation. I think he was waiting for me. We won't know for sure, but I think he was just outside my door waiting, and then Vigil capitalized on him not looking at him. Team? Right up against it. I don't know where Thorn is going. She is... I think she went into Pillbox. Unfortunate. Yeah, I don't have any audio there either for the diffuser being down and like the music. I'll restart and I'll hope that it fixes it. could have reinforced it. We didn't have time. I know the music wasn't playing, but I think we had like 15 seconds when I started smoking. Okay, let me restart. Because I don't like that I'm just missing audio. Oh, sorry. Hope you guys don't have epilepsy. Forgot that's a thing. Sometimes it happens. Actually, it hasn't been a thing for a while. Maybe the mid-season patch brought that back. How are my drops doing on the main broadcast? Making so much progress. Just had a seizure. Thank you. You're welcome. Has anyone been following like Siege Esports, the kickoff? How is Team Secret doing? I assume they're not doing well because they lost 2 players. Let me see. Oh, they are 4th in their group. That's tough. What do they do to Thunderbird? She heals 50% faster. Also, my game's not on the screen for some reason, but it is open. Losing Jim hurt her a lot? Yeah. I would expect as much. There we go. What was the verdict with Mooda? The ranked matches are incredibly more suspicious than his 1v1s. No definitive proof, but like everyone in chat is just under the assumption he's cheating. And my end verdict was, I think if you show this to any creator without telling them it's Mooda, they'd say this person's probably cheating. But because it's Mooda, they all keep going like, oh no, like he's probably just a prodigy. I think there's too much bias. Okay, let's hope I actually have half my audio this time. What's my rank? I'm currently in plat because I have not played that much. I think I played 40 matches. 46 matches played total. 50% win rate. But I did get champ last season. Although I personally disagree with that. I think I'd put myself, like, game knowledge, sure, maybe champ. But like gameplay capabilities, I don't think I should be above like Emerald 1 or Diamond 5. But I also think that Diamond and Champ should be way harder to get than it is now. Next season, I think I'll try to grind ranked an insane amount to try to get a lot better to see if I can reach Champ in rank 3.0. The streamer games are tonight. The fuck does that mean, Jack? Is that an award show? Or a show? Please hurry so I can procrastinate. Well, it's not my fault. Blame Ubisoft. Three-minute queue. Sag. I think you're mid-diamond. Some of those shit I've seen Emerald players do hurts my soul. That's the thing is, like, I do think everyone is too high of a rank. Everyone should be pushed lower. There are way too many people above gold. But I understand that they do that specifically because a lot of people would not play if they were stuck below gold because they're not good. Like, this game is fucking shit. Like, I shouldn't be a gold, even though they are. Oh, gotcha, Jack. Why are we doing a Copper to Champ series with rank 3.0? I've thought about it. Solo queuing on one of my alt accounts. But my concern is that my alt accounts are going to be too... I haven't used them in years, so I think they're going to be too low rank. And I don't want to smurf. I mean, that being said, I could go in with the mentality being like, this account might be lower than I want it to be, but I'm going to try as hard as I can to rank up as quickly as possible, so I'm not smurfing, I'm just in my normal ranks. Could also do it as a way to be like, what rank should I be if my preset elo isn't champ? We'll see. The J3 cosplay, I'll bust. Can you elaborate? Are you talking about the Black Cat cosplay that he just posted 21 hours ago? I wish I could unsee that. Beat out Emerald 1 last season after a 3-year hiatus with a 1.4 KD win rate. Now I get slammed and unranked and am I just bad? I mean, 3-year hiatus is a long time. I did see King George talk about that right now. I kind of disagree. But I get where he's coming from. I thought I heard him by the double door. I didn't realize he just had walked all the way in. That's on me. Oh, an enemy was about to push me. God, bro, I'm blind right now. That wasn't even Ash. What? I thought that was her in the wrestling uniform. I'm just blind right now. I can't see shit. Old man plays Siege. Alright, well, the best way to send it, well, the only way to send it, if you do the replay command, it gives you almost a step-by-step guide. Melis, I don't know why. If you do a command in a reply to someone, Nightbot doesn't respond to it. It's so dumb. I think it's not the original message, so it thinks it's part of another message. I don't know. Old man plays Siege but doesn't hop on cams when dead. She was outside on a balcony where there's no cameras and everyone knows where she is. You didn't love the dumpy. I may have left the video before it got to the dumpy. Don't really like that, but let's have the shield. Would I try taking caffeine to push above your threshold? No, I would not. I will never voluntarily take caffeine. Everyone I know who drinks caffeine is literally just miserable unless they have their caffeine. And then once the caffeine... Oh, that's just all open. Once it ends, then they're all like, oh, I just need my next hit. I am doing a rank/pro league smoke hold with absolutely zero intel on when they're planting. Moves for lunch, smoked salmon bagel, and an apple. I'm not miserable without my caffeine. I doubt that. I to doubt. Here's someone walking up. He naded himself. He fucking threw a nade down the stairs and then ran into it and died. What is the oldest age in chat? Probably me. You guys are all children. I do remember one time we actually asked that on Twitch chat, and I think the oldest answer we got, assuming they're telling the truth, was like 60 something. Like, that's crazy. That's unk right there. Born July 91. Jay's just fucking lying. There's only 31 days in July, Jay. You fucking liar. Classic chat. I'm only 24. Oh my god. You're still old. You'd be surprised, especially on the weekends, how many way too young people there are in chat. Like, high school, middle school. I'm like, bro. Get a job. Get out of chat. What YouTube content do I watch? Nothing, almost. I'll randomly, like, some nights if I'm bored, I'll just decide, like, I'm gonna watch a bunch of, like, video essays. One of the few channels I will watch somewhat consistently is a channel called Wendover Productions, where all they do is video essays. But now I almost only watch them when I take a bath, because I need some type of entertainment. I think I saw blood. I actually don't know what happened there with the Rara. It probably won't connect to the door, so my shield's in the way, right? Actually, it'll probably just destroy the shield, what am I saying? What? I thought I saw something down there. I was freaked out. Alright. I can hit a head, but I can't hit a fucking red canister. One banana. Show me banana salad. I thought I did enough damage. What is the damage drop off on this? Also, it doesn't even show my replay. I got scammed. I hit her twice on the window, twice on the second peak, and then I had to hit her like 3 and 4, or 4 and 5 minimum on the third peak. So 5 shots total? Do I ever watch video essays from folding ideas? No. There really is no like rhyme or reason why I specifically watch Wendover other than they were just one of the first ones I found, and they also just do like the most random topics. It'll be like, here's why this one town in Peru changed all of their public transportation to a gondola system. I'm like, all right, let's find out. Oh, not ram. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just very random on my YouTube videos. I don't watch a lot of YouTube these days because it feels like it's just gotten old for me, but I think it's because I play, or I like upload so much that YouTube just seems like too much. It seems like work. I don't want to watch work, you know? Take care, Justin. And take you for a bubble bath, guy. I just will sometimes take a bath if I have a sore back and stuff, but we also have a hot tub, so sometimes I'll go there. The issue is the hot tub now sometimes gives me rashes because my skin is so sensitive to chemicals. I mean, in poverty, if you... Are you not upstairs? Doesn't matter. I have heard that if you go into quick match and you just lose a bunch of quick matches and abandon them over and over and over again, your elo drops like crazy. I can't tell if they're upstairs or not. They are. hit the middle pole when I was trying to aim by the couch, and I just whiffed on her. Oh, now Vigil goes to lobby. Chris is in the bath wiggling his toes while laughing in Millionaire. How'd those both only just go off there? And they did absolutely 0 damage to him. He must have put them in the floor. I'm also struggling with Raura today. Yesterday I was going crazy with her. I think in my first 3 matches I got a 3k, 4k, 4k. Now I'm just like walking in and dying. Maybe today's just not my day. Do I play any instruments? I do not. I have said that if I, or like whenever the day comes where I would retire from content creation, I would like to learn an instrument, probably piano. You know, it's just, I feel like I'm gonna be like any other dad when they retire. Not that I'm a dad, but you know, when they retire and then they just take up a million hobbies to just learn everything they've ever wanted to learn. I think I'll probably end up doing that. So I'll probably try to learn some type of instrument. I could see myself possibly getting into some really random stuff like woodworking or I don't know, some type of like electronics, like creating stuff. Ooh. The one I also really want to learn is crochet. I want to learn how to crochet. I think crocheting would be really cool. I don't know if I'd have the patience for it, but it'd be cool. She wants to be a grandma, apparently. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I mean, if it's fun, right? Since you're almost 30, have you booked a place in a retirement home? Have I told you guys? I think I've told you guys this story. I'm going to tell it again, because why not? Throwback to when Rob was looking for an apartment to live in, and he called this place. Kind of a place close to us. Because he's like, oh, they have some really nice units. Like, I've seen photos online, like, you know, really nice kitchens, services, blah, blah. And so he called, and then they were, like, getting his information, and they're like, okay, like, how much assistance do you need? He's like, what do you mean? And they're like, do you need, like, mobility assistance? Do you need, like, more care, 24/7 care? And he's like, no, like, I'm perfectly fine on my own. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they asked for his age, and he told them, like, 20 whatever. And then they're like, you know, this is an old age home. And then he's like, oh, I thought this was an apartment building. Even though the name of it is like blank, like retirement home, he thought it was an apartment. What a guy. Alright, we're just abandoning this. So it fell through. It might have fallen through a little bit. Okay, hatch is reinforced. There's zombies down here. My ping is not working. There we go. I saw a shadow. made a hole there. Hopefully I got him. Ooh, shotgun. Fuck me. I was hoping the sound would get masked a little bit. He's running. So you can just shoot the monitor, and I guess we could shoot the actual Maestro turret and destroy it right now because it's open. Oh, too late. How did it work though, Pineapple? Like, how do they kill someone with that? I don't understand how putting the camera inside of you does anything. Unless, were they able to shoot people with an invisible camera? Because the camera moves to them, but on their screen it's still on the ground? I hadn't thought about that. Gotta move into the retirement home to be around all them gray bushed up huzz. They weren't shooting because they got no penalty for team killing. Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, we saw it like not being used for anything, so I don't know what the purpose of it would be, but I'm sure we'll see as time develops when these gadgets start being put inside people's bodies and being used somehow. Being under 20 should be illegal. Chat, he might be onto something. I really liked the video of yesterday. Pretty funny how QA and you can struggle as devs. Yeah, like, I liked the video. It didn't do that well because I understand people didn't find it that interesting, but I was like, I think it's a good insight into how, you know, bug bashing goes for Siege and how hard it can be to actually fix bugs in Siege. True, Renyar, but that makes me wonder how did he even do it? If he's that unaware, he shouldn't be good enough to be able to do it, but oh. Did he disagree? Alright. Fun fact, one guy tried to propose a bill to make pigeons illegal. They had him as a speaker on Fox News. Without getting too political, absolutely zero shocker there. Did you know that Fox News went to court over their misinformation? And they literally, like, they won the court case by saying no reasonable person would assume that we are actually telling the news. And they're like, this is just a show, and we are saying things. And they actually won the court case because they're like, well, no reasonable person would assume that Fox News actually tells you news. What a crazy world the US is. It is crazy. Yeah, Fox News isn't actually news. Let me see if I can find the... Oh, sorry. It was not specifically for Fox News as a whole, but it was for the Tucker Carlson program.
I just love dicks, bro.
The general tenor, this was from the court case, the general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses, and instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. And that with Mr. Carlson's reputation, any reasonable viewer would arrive with an appropriate amount of skepticism about the statements he makes. Do we believe that to ever be the case? I don't think any reasonable person in the US would assume that. Thanks for 7 months. Chaotic Kiwi? Or no, Chaotic Kiwi. There we go. People didn't like it because it goes against the UV fix mentality. I think people didn't like the video because it was just, I mean, it was kind of boring. But if you like informative stuff, it was interesting. I have seen that as well, Mr. Struce, that, yeah, Fox News was saying that more teenagers should be getting pregnant. I'm like, all right. The U.S. What a world they live in. I mean, Canada ain't much better, but it's slightly better. When was the last time you met a reasonable American? I mean, my American friends are pretty reasonable. We all come from different walks of life, and I'd say we got along perfectly well, even with our differences. Like, I know a lot of people really went against Priest because he said he voted for Trump. And it was really funny because there was the one time where it was right after Trump got elected, and then my one friend, he just went on like a tangent in the Discord. We were playing like random games, but he's just like, because he kept seeing so many American news, he's just like, if you have a wife, daughter, mother, anything, girlfriend, whatever, he's like, you can't vote for Trump because it just means that you hate women, blah, 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 blah. And then like he went on this tangent for like 5 minutes. And I'd already known that Priest voted for Trump. And then I was like, okay, Drew. I was like, so Priest, who did you vote for? And then got real quiet. And then Priest explained. And even though, you know, they had very opposing views on everything, they're still friends, and they don't need to make a whole thing out of it. And in Priest's defense, he even says now that he regrets it. He just wanted his extra money. That's all he cared about. We went against Priest because he said he was a veteran. Poor Priest, man. Can't catch a break. Oh, Jordino, I really want to make a comment on this because me and Annie are watching a TV show, but I'm not gonna say what it is. There's something that relates to it, but I don't want to say it because we're almost in the show, and I don't want anyone to spoil it. It's a shame. I had a good point. Just like he wanted his 10% at Carl's Jr. Bro. And where's that extra money? Yeah, he never got anything. Actually, I think he said he one time got $500. He said that's enough for him. Which, I mean, honestly, chat, like being completely, or try to be as unbiased as possible. If someone offered you $500 to vote for a specific person, would you do it? For $500? I think most people would. Ooh, I could maybe... maybe do a piano rush, actually. I can be bought just not for 500. I mean, I think I'd take 500. One vote? Obviously, then you assume if everyone goes for it, then that's everyone's votes, but... my one vote, $500? I think I might take that. You with all the mansion and everything, really? 500 bucks is 500 bucks. Also, when someone's rich, it's the same thing as I remember people used to always say this about Bill Gates. They're like, it's not worth it for Bill Gates to bend over and pick up $100 because he makes more money in the time it takes for him to bend over and pick up the $100 bill than the $100 bill is worth. But it's just dumb because it's like, at the end of the day, it's still free money, you know? I don't think this is gonna work, but I'll try it. Wait, oh my god. Fuck. I didn't think the Renegade would come back online that quickly, but... Uh-oh. Our thermite is stuck. I should have left my drone in there and just jumped it in there as I was about to go for it. I mean, they also had the window open. That made me take way too long. What is happening with thermite? I think he's... Oh, he fixed himself. I think he was stuck on a rappel, even though he wasn't on rappel. Because he couldn't move forward and backward. He was just going left and right. Administration affect people directly, though. For some, they would be selling out their people. I mean, I think the average person really does not care about anyone but themselves. Also, I will also throw in that, I still don't understand the Electoral College. Does that basically mean in the US that, like, let's say one state, 99% of people vote for one party? If the people want, like the Electoral College people want, they could just vote for whoever they want. It doesn't have to be who the people actually voted for. Because if so, that sounds crazy to me. They have a group of people for each state that can vote for whoever they want. How is that? How does that work? Like, how is that a valid system? So I do remember, like, whenever there's an election, me and my friends will usually be in Discord and we'll just look at the map to just see, you know, what's happening. And I remember they had, like, states that would be blue or red, and then some of them would be, like, with slashes through them. And that meant that, like, even though it was voted one way, they voted, like, the people voted a different way, or the Electoral College voted a different way. I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Electoral College is basically 51 separate elections, and each election has, I assume they mean different values. You need 270 votes to win. And most states have legal requirements that the Electoral College vote for who wins the popular vote. But some states, yes, the Electoral College can just vote for who they want. Huh. Now, if you... Let's say you work, or you're an Electoral College voter or whatever, and you choose to just vote for whoever you want. What's the danger? Like, let's say you're in a state, everyone votes Republican, and you vote Democrat, even though the majority voted Republican. What is the danger of you voting for the other party? What does that do? Like, can you be removed? would you be punished? No danger, you just probably won't be an elector again. So that's not, I assume, based off what you're saying, that's in a position that you can be removed from. Like, you are voted in, and if the people don't like that you're constantly going against them, they can just vote someone else in. What a crazy system. What a crazy world. I keep saying that about the US. Oh, she just Rooney punched it. Not much for me to, unfortunately, do. I have an idea, though. Okay, it did go off.
He's laying down behind the thing.
Hit him twice and he didn't get downed. Bro, what are you holding? We are in sight. We are in sight with diffuser, and he's holding boiler? That was a good play though. Smoke, rower off the blue door, and then we can push in for free. It's just a shame that it fell apart real quick. Oh, so, okay, last question about US politics. Is there any possibility that they actually remove the Electoral College in the US, or is it something that's just going to be there forever? Like, would it actually be possible to dismantle it? Because I know in Canada, we have something called first past the post. I don't know what it means, but it somehow makes it where people can win elections even though they didn't actually win the majority. And I know Trudeau promised to remove it and then didn't remove it. So I'm like, I assume there must be a way. You could get rid of the Electoral College, right? It's in the Constitution. Oh. I don't think they'll remove it because large states like California, New York, Illinois will win every election. Okay. I know people don't like to hear this. But doesn't that just make sense? Why should a state with, like, let's say, 1 million people have the exact same say as a state with 30 million people? Well, so wait. Wait, chat's saying they don't. I thought the whole thing was that everyone is equal or whatever. Is it not? I don't know. I don't know how the US works. They don't have the exact same. Bigger states still have more electoral college votes. Oh. And wouldn't the big states already win? No. That was what I saw. Oh my god, I almost died. Oh. What the hell? The timing. It was smoked as well. He just sprayed. Oh no, he just saw me as the smoke went up. That is so unfortunate.
Boss is upstairs.
They basically do. I mean, I feel like if that were the case, then a certain somebody would not have won the last election. But that gets into a whole different can of worms that I'm not well versed enough to discuss.
Last seen on the bar hatch.
Oh. Just a little bit of panic. Drop. I don't really know what that ash charge play was, but was a little bit of panic. Thoughts on Trudeau and Katy Perry? It was funny, the other day we mentioned the Trudeau Katy Perry thing in front of Annie, and she thought we were joking. And then we're like, you know, like that's an actual thing. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, that Trudeau and Katy Perry are together, and she's like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, it doesn't, but it's true. And then she's like, you're lying. I was like, no, it is very real. I did see some like random article post or something on Twitter that was like, they were getting a lot of flack for using plastic cups at Coachella. And I'm like, I just saw the headline. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I just ignored it. If you were the son of Fidel Castro, wouldn't you want to take Katy Perry? It was such a crazy time when Trudeau was prime minister here, because it was basically like the US where, you know, the right wing people were like coming up with the craziest conspiracy theories, saying that he was the son of Fidel Castro, the Cuban dictator. And it's like, what the fuck are people smoking? Is he supposed to carry his own cups for the rest of his life? No, I saw that article. I was like, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I don't care. I believe that part only because it's too funny. It would be pretty funny. How does this Malusi prevent me from putting down the shield? The shield normally goes like right here. Damn, okay. Probably not the best spot to play, but fuck it, we ball. USA isn't any crazier than the rest of the world. Chai, who's gonna tell him? One's on balcony still. Oh.
Walking up hallway.
I just got fried. I was even ready for her and I pre-fired, but I guess not enough shots hit. I thought I hit her enough, but guess not. Because Canada is so amazing. I do love that whenever this topic comes up, the Americans in chat, they get so butthurt. Because the argument always comes that they think that my level of pride is the same level of pride that they have for the US. And they're like, oh, Canada's got to be the best then, right? It's like, never said that. Don't really care. They're like, well, you're only saying that because you're jealous of the US. It's like, bro. I have zero patriotism. Not a single patriotic bone in my body. They're all just lines in the dirt. Or on a map, not even in the dirt. But God forbid a man critique a country where the #1 cause of bankruptcy is trying to stay alive. How dare you critique that? Thanks for sub Phantom. All countries are kind of in a bad spot. Not true. A lot of them are. Also a lot that aren't. See a lot of European countries thriving. Or at the very least, the people are happy. They might not be thriving, but people are happy. I need to do something. I've done literally nothing today. I've just chatted with chat. Wait a second. Chat, it's not my fault I'm doing bad. It's your fault. You've distracted me. If I weren't talking to chat right now, I'd be top of the leaderboard and we'd be winning 4-0. I realized what was wrong. It's always chat. I think that's the thermite from the one round where he was stuck. That is crazy play from the mute.
It was some kind of shield.
They used all their utility and haven't done anything. Like, oh, I didn't even get the assist because he got team killed.
Jumped out.
I'm surprised he didn't want to go for the plant. Could have planted behind green bins, but I guess he was afraid I'd be in connector. I don't know. Also, wait, hatch was soft. They could have opened the hatch. I think I even ran up there with Valkyrie, but I stopped because I thought she was going to reinforce the hatch. Look, we banned the Grim? They didn't really capitalize on it, but they knew how to use it. Get Duck, Live Nation, and Ticketmaster. I feel like that is one of the main reasons, on top of me not really caring about live performances, but that is one of the main reasons I don't think I'll ever really care about going to a concert, is once you learn what a scam Ticketmaster is and Live Nation and all of them, like, why would I ever want to pay so much money to go see something that I can just listen to thanks to the internet, you know? Because, like, I think it was... Oh, I can't remember who the artist was. I remember seeing a thing where the tickets were going for, like, 500 a piece, and the artist was like, I put the price at, like, 45 bucks. Like, 90% of the price comes from Ticketmaster just going crazy. I don't know if I just want to play in the corner with a shield or... I could put the shield on blue, but I don't think anyone's going to actually play it. Live shows can be amazing, I guess, but I've just never been one who's been interested in going to a concert. Especially when it just usually sounds worse than a normal, or like the recorded performance. The fact that that guy on double window didn't kill me is a travesty for them. Oh. They both just exploded in front of me. I think last one's in sight, right? Gonna hip fire her. I probably shouldn't have memed when we're in a 3v1 that's easily losable. He still has 2 beepers. He could throw them in there just to fuck with them. My kills keep getting stolen. I mean, I didn't hit either of them once, but I think I would have killed the Ash, and then she just literally exploded in front of me. And both of them did, too. Live music hits different than Spotify. You know what I think it is? The only reason I would not want to go to a live concert show has nothing... Or, like, ignoring the price, but, like, why generally I would not want to go... has nothing really to do with the music. It has to do with the people. I think I would just be miserable around the type of people who would like to go to a concert. I don't like crowds. I don't like loud people. And I don't like party people. I feel like all 3 of those things are what a concert's all about. I'm old. This is why I feel like lighting in Siege just doesn't really make any sense. Why are the floorboards underneath this floorboard so bright? And it probably has to do with there being a light right below this, but it should not work like that. Like, this should be darker. So when they were like Siege X lighting, I was like, I feel like it's just worse. It's more moody, but it's not accurate. He's got it. Alcohol and drugs help. I'm also not one that likes to really get drunk or anything. That was a lot faster than I thought it would be. Oh, pushed in. He did push in. Oh, Bandit got baited. He threw the nade at, like, the door to make him run away, and then he just swung. Because I was like, Bandit was literally just holding that. How did they just walk in? That's how. Hi, Peter. There's a venue I used to go to that had lawn seating. You could bring your own food and drinks as well. It was basically a picnic with bands playing. You know how I know I'm old? The first thing I thought of as soon as you said that was, man, my back would fucking hurt after sitting on the lawn for 4 hours. I might just be too old for a concert, you know? And that's okay. Okay. Hey, it's not my fault. I have a genetic predisposition to a bad back, okay? Bring a chair. Lawn chairs are so uncomfortable. They hurt my back as well. Forgive a man for knowing what he is, alright, chat? Sorry that I know I'm old. I know what I like and what I dislike, and yet I still get called unk. Just double reinforce that. Okay, there's actually a possibility here where I just send it through Solarium window after I Raura this off. That possibility is seeming less likely. Leagues is happening in RuneScape. Hop on. We hop on these nuts. I am playing RuneScape. Fuck it, we ball. Wait, I just heard someone fuck. Oh, he just ran out garage. Let me in. I got reversed. He ran into my Goyo fire. That is crazy. That wasn't even my fault. Can we also agree that that is one of the most frustrating things about Raura is I pull out the gadget and I have to hit it like 15 times for it to actually shoot the canister? Like, why can't it just shoot it right away? Once the white square is there, why do I have to go and then shoot? Oh wait, I just got more friendly fire. I've been dead for 30 seconds. You tell me the best defenders right now. Probably just a Rooney and Tubero because of DMRs. DMR of Doom. Is it bad that I play Siege at 35 to 45 FPS? You know what was bad? Was, there was someone in my community, she used to play Siege at 10 FPS. That's how bad it was. I think it was like she played with my mods, and the mods had to tell her to get, like, run flashes on Sledge instead of nades, because she would always, it'd be so choppy, she'd throw a nade and a team kill. 10 frames, why even play? I mean, you could say that about anything. Be like, oh, on controller, why even play? Games are meant to be played with mouse and keyboard. Oh, 1080p, why even play? You should be playing at 1440p, you know. 10 FPS is still, you can play it. It's not good. Wait, who? Oh, what was her name? I think there was more to it than just this. It was like Fist something, or like Fist. I think it was just Fist. I don't know. I think she rebranded to like Sharky or something. Did I go to the gym today? I did. I actually went up in 2 different machines. On the seated cable row, I'm now doing 120 by 8 for 3 sets. I don't know who the hell that is. It might have been before your time, in the sense, like, before you were super involved with the community, Josh. Because she played with, like, Jex, and, like, all the old mods. Uh-oh, they're pushing down blue. So you'll barricade this.
One's in. Never mind, just walked in.
Oh, you went into connector. Oh. We have a cam watch. We do have a cam watch in that. We didn't even get a ping or anything. We just got told he's in. That's unfortunate. We had the cam and all. Alright, I have time for one more game, and then I have to go, because I have a meeting at 4. One more. 4 Pro can even give an accurate call. I mean, I think it was the guy who was like 1 and 8, so I guess I shouldn't expect much, but if you have a camera watching them, I want at least like a ping, you know? And like, I'll never fault someone for giving a call out, or for not giving a call out if they haven't spoken once, but I'm like, if you're speaking already in game, you know, give a good call out. Or keep giving call outs, you know? Because like, I don't talk in game, so If someone else doesn't talk in game, I can't fault them for not giving callouts or not, you know, being on cams or whatever because they're not talking. But if you're talking, I expect things. Thanks for sub, coolest Gramps. Did you know you get a timeout if you mention Ubi's inability to fix old ass bugs on their Twitch? I mean, I'm gonna try to say this as nicely as possible. Are you fucking stupid? What did you expect? It'd be like if you went to Chick-fil-A and started screaming at the cashier about their CEO and what they fund. It's like, bro. And then you complain that they kick you out of Chick-fil-A. It's like, you're complaining to someone who has absolutely nothing to do with what you're talking about and just trying to be disruptive. Of course they're going to kick you out. Like, you got to be real fucking dumb to not expect that. Also, I didn't realize the match today. I'm watching, or I have the Fnatic secret match open. I didn't realize it's a best of 3. I thought they were only best of 1s. How long does it take to get the charm? We've had very mixed answers recently. Some people have said it takes like an hour. Some people have said it takes like a week. So just sit tight and hope for the best. Aren't you guys open on Sunday? What if I wanted a grilled chicken sandwich at 3 p.m. on Sunday? Yeah. Cashier ain't gonna be able to do anything. I will say, I think we shamed him too much because he just stopped talking after I called him fucking stupid. He probably expected me to be like, yeah, you know what, fuck you, B. How dare they try to silence you? Like, no, bro. Don't be dumb. Can't wait to get Leo hacks with your charm. Definitely will happen. Well, hopefully that guy comes back, because I would really hate if the last match of the day that I did as an extra one is a 5v4 for the entire thing. I can still add him, so he may just be lurking quietly. I never trust the viewer list because if you say something, you still will stay in the viewer list for I think it's like 10 minutes after you leave. So it's like, no, it's not accurate. It's also why when people claim someone's stream sniping by having them in the viewer list, I'm like, that's not, in my opinion, that's not valid. I'll only ever consider stuff like stream sniping or them still being there if they're actively chatting or, you know, give you a very specific reason to assume that they would be in the stream still. I am making a stream sniping video though out of that match from yesterday where, I mean, I think most of you guys would know, I almost never call anyone a stream sniper because one, I don't care, but two, usually I'm just like, I don't think they actually are. And then the guy yesterday, when I was like, I think he might be stream sniping, he typed in chat saying, Varsity's always complaining about people stream sniping. I'm like, bro. And you know what's funny? I tweeted that, and then people were defending him. He's like, bro, like, why are you assuming he's stream sniping? I'm like, you are so stupid. That is the theme of the Siege community recently, though. Dumb as hell. I don't actually know where to put my shield for this. Guess here. What was that whole thing with my email? It was like, I had to log into my old email from elementary school, and that was the most recent email I had on there. They had a list of demands that they said I had to send to them by last week, otherwise they'd ruin my whole life, and here I still am.
Fire, one outside breach. Tag, Eddie.
don't know where Yana was.
That's not my door.
Oh. What were their demands? Honestly, I didn't even read it. It was a long ass email. I was like, I'm assuming they're like, send us money. Just because they have your stream open doesn't mean they're streams, I think. Yeah. What if they're just chatting? Give money. What's funny is it was also like... Again, the email... I have not used that email in like 15 years. And one of the things that they were like, we have your first and last name. And that email from decades ago was like first name, last name, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, not hard to do when it's just in the email. Like, that's not a flex that you would have that, but obviously it's just spam.
You didn't hear me. You don't hear me now. No, you're muted. Do it again. Do it again. Look at you, dumbass dick. Dumbass dick.
Sounds like he's just giving back shots. I ain't listening to that. Are you just Christian Varsity Gaming? Middle name is Varsity, last name Gaming. Come on. You should know by now Annie is Mrs. Gaming. It's funny, at the Siege events, they actually call her Mrs. Gaming. Like, whenever I hang out with, like, Kier, who's the UK social media guy. First off, he calls us Mom and Dad, but then he'll also call her Mrs. Gaming. Use code Varsity in the R6 shop, like for the 245 bits freak show. Code Varsity for 0% off. I wonder if there's a setting I can change to make that, like, smoke when I destroy something not be there. I do hate when I break a barricade, I just can't see shit. But then I watch other people play, and I feel like they can see everything. Huge. Shouldn't be surprised. The guy probably didn't mute him, was just getting tired of him talking. Oh, shit. They're both here. Uh-oh. Fuck. I didn't realize they were both in that room. Oh, we even had a camera on them. It's one of the debris settings. Thanks, Rainier. So helpful. Does Annie feel threatened by my relationship with Priest? She has said multiple times that as long as it doesn't get too sexual, she's fine with our relationship. But how do you not get too sexual with Priest? That's the real question. I feel like it's just a given that you have to be. What's my attachments going on the SMG11? I think it's just chroma streaks. There's two settings that have particle effects tied to it. Let's see. Particle decals debris. I wonder if lowering that would change it. I mean, I can lower it in the game. Might as well try it. VFX. The issue is whenever you lower some settings, it makes everything look so pixely and stuff. Our homie goodnight kisses counted. I don't think they should be, but I think Annie would count them. Also, I didn't realize 2 of them left now. Bro. It's always the last game. I'm like, I'll do one more, and it's the worst game of the I don't even want to play this. Do I just leave? Do I become one of those people? Okay, let me go try to break a barricade and see if it still makes it all dusty. I feel like that was even dustier than before. Oh, he's about to team kill. There wasn't too bad. Maybe that was the play. Yeah. Josh Lentz was just trying to dox me. Can we ban him real quick? They're together. Because they had mentioned, or I heard in the voice, he's just like, no, man, you're still muted. So I figured they were together. Oh. Just get me out of this lobby, man.
Yo, fucking
Wait.
killing this bitch's ass, bro. Kill this nigga, bro. He started
Alright.
chasing me and tried to kill.
I know they're cute together, and they're just being annoying.
I'm good.
No way he actually got banned for saying that. I pressed 1 to swap and it didn't swap. Now 2 of my teammates have left. Bro, get me out of here. I don't want to play. The Jinxie charm while yelling racist shit and team killing does not help the, I don't want to say allegations, but how everyone always says Jinxie's viewers are just kids. Does not help. I mean, ideally, we just throw the next 2 rounds and I can just leave. I don't know if I even want to try. At best, I get a 3K. Oh, now it's a 2v3. Let's see if my teammate is up for it. He's the only one. I'll know if he says no. He's just AFK. I hate it here.
Okay, where's that at? Where's that at? We're gonna win this round. We're gonna win. Come on, let's go. No. We got it.
I don't want to got it. I don't want to take this to max
We'll win
time.
this round, then we surrender, right?
You can't do that.
Wait, where's that at? Upstairs?
I don't fucking know.
Alright, we're gonna go upstairs. Get on the head over to the left.
Hold up. It bounced off the top. I didn't know that was possible. It bounced off the wall above the door. We're gonna go back into match replay and we're gonna check that.
Wow. My POV of that was fucking cursed.
Even in the
Right, now
replay, when he, and when he was killing me, you could hear it thunk against the wall and fall down. I am just absolutely gasted and flabbered. Am I having fun? No.
I knew he'd be soft as racist.
I want to go home. Is Raura A tier? I think Raura in a like competitive team will be considered A tier, S tier. For certain sites. It'll never be for every single site on every single map. Because you need long angles that you can close off with Raura and then push up aggressively on. Cafe first floor will be really good for her. What else? Nighthaven Labs will also be really good. Okay, I'm going into replay and I'm checking. If I see that thing bounce off the wall, Raura's broken. Terrible op. Because there's no way that the canister that's supposed to attach to the top of a door falls off the door. Oops. Let's see. Round 4. Give us another match? Nope. I have a meeting in 20. And it's a meeting that's bad for their time zone, so I'm not going to be late to rub salt in the wound. I'm going slow-mo for this. Okay, it's flying right at the door. How does that happen? It just missed. Raura is so ass. Her gadget doesn't even hit on a locked on target. I don't think the EMP got it. I can watch that back again. Let me see. Let me see if even for a millisecond I had a EMP blast on me. No. The EMP came out after it's already mid-air. You can see it. So the EMP blast just went out, just hit me. That's where it is. And it just fucking flops. That is insane. I'm never playing Raura again. That's not true, but that actually is ass. I guess that'll be a good TikTok for tomorrow. Maybe it's because you died. I'm gonna just throw it out there. if you die throwing a nade or you die throwing a thorn, the gadget still goes and like fulfills its trajectory. Remember when Varsity missed the doorway with Row? Okay. I don't think dying had... I mean, the dying thing could have had something to do with it, but it shouldn't affect it, is what I should be saying. All right, chat, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to go edit that Mooda review thing and edit some more footage, and then I'm going to go do my meeting. But I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will just be probably normal stream. I might have something to open on stream tomorrow. We'll see. As long as everything comes through fine and everything gets approved, I might open something on stream. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.